now things are kind of uncertain and bottled up a little bit, so we're not seeing those that don't necessarily need to make a move right now.
Hi, I'm Wade Hansen. I've been selling luxury real estate in Minnesota and Wisconsin for over 23 years. My entire career has been spent protecting my clients from misinformation and unethical practices by those not looking out for their best interests. This podcast will give you the raw truth about everything real estate so you can make solid, informed decisions about the biggest investment of your lifetime. This is the Raw Real Estate Podcast.
So as we wrap up the first quarter of 2023, I want to give you a quick update on what's happening in my local real estate market. It's been a pretty wild and unpredictable quarter. It's been a bit like the stock market. We've seen some really high highs and some really low lows, and a lot of that's been driven by interest rates. I know we saw rates dip into the upper fives and things got really busy, and then rates went into the upper sixes and we saw things slow down. So we're seeing some ups and downs in the market. Overall, closed sales year over year are down actually between 25 and 35%, depending on the city that you're in and the market that you're in. But specifically on the East Metro, we're running about a almost 35% decrease in closed transactions. The median sale price is actually down a couple of percent, which obviously we're coming off of one of the hottest years in real estate, so that's skewed a little bit. And the biggest thing that I'm seeing that's still a factor, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I feel like I say this every year now, is new inventory and new listings are down about 10%. Every year we come out and say inventory is lower than it's ever been. We need more homes to sell. And this year that's been the case. Obviously a lot of sellers just aren't selling right now. They like their 3.5%, 4% interest rate, and they're staying put. The last 2 years they were selling because they were able to get outrageous prices for their homes, purchase something on the other end at a 3.5% interest rate, and everybody came out happy. But now things are kind of uncertain and bottled up a little bit, so we're not seeing those that don't necessarily need to make a move right now. Now that being said, we still have families that grow, we have families that split, we have relocation buyers, we have relocation sellers, we have baby boomers that downsize, we have folks that just have a change in life or change in job that move into different homes. So the people are still buying and selling homes. It's still a fine time to buy and sell a home. Is it a great time? Well, that will depend on your situation and your particular maybe neighborhood or type of home that you live in as to what the demand is for that particular product. But we're still seeing just about on every property that I've sold the first quarter of this year, I've had multiple offers on all except one, I believe. So we're still seeing multiple offers. Now, in those multiple offers, we're not getting into the bidding wars of 20, 30 offers and driving prices up to 105 to 110% of list price. We're starting to, as I put it to one buyer recently, you're going to win 3 or 4 out of the 5 battles of the war and negotiations right now. Whereas in the past, you weren't winning any of the battles. It was all sellers and they were getting everything they wanted or you didn't get the house. So as a buyer now, you're still able to go through the inspection process like you normally would. You can go through the appraisal process like you normally would. You're not having to waive inspections or do appraisal gap guarantees. However, sellers are still getting their price. We're still seeing homes sell for roughly 100% of list price right now. Sellers are getting their closing dates for the most part, so you have to be a little bit willing and flexible to meet a closing date for a seller. But for the most part, there's some give and take on both ends, which is normal in a balanced market. So it can be a good time to negotiate on some of those terms right now. All of the predictions I've made this year have been wrong. So for me to predict what's going to happen in second quarter, I think is going to be really, really challenging. I came out roughly January 1st and said that the lights were going to go out on the real estate market the first quarter and it was going to be really quiet. And we've had weeks like that, when we've had almost a month like that, but we've also had weeks and almost a month of really good buyer activity, really high demand, and a lot of movement in the marketplace. So I've said this once and I'll say it again. Work with a good full-time professional agent that will time things right for you. And when I meet with my clients right now, I really stress timing. And that can be a particular week in the marketplace over the next 90 days that you're more likely to get multiple offers than another week. If you've got 3 or 4 competitors on the market, that's not the time. Let that market, let the buyers burn through that market, and let's wait until maybe there's fewer competitors on the market. So try to time the market as best you can. I know it's nearly impossible to time your life and time the market, but there's an opportunity there. I think that if you're willing to be a little bit flexible on timing, that you can make more money. I've seen sellers this year make 2 or 3% more than they would have had they not timed it properly. So timing can be a really, really important piece of the puzzle. As we progress into this second quarter of 2023, I know we're going to see peaks, I know we're going to see valleys. We're starting to see a little bit more, I guess, acceptance from buyers. The interest rates, last year at this time were going from 3% to they got to almost 7% by end of August, and buyers were scared. So we were in that fear phase. We've now kind of moved from fear into acceptance, meaning that buyers are understanding that rates are going to settle somewhere in that 5.5 to maybe low 6 range, and that's just where it's going to be for a while. So they're willing to accept that, move forward, and purchase a home. So if you're thinking of buying or selling, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help any way I can, give you some guidance as to whether or not it's a good time for you to buy or sell.
Thank you for listening to the Raw Real Estate Podcast. If you have any feedback for this episode or want to suggest a future topic or even possible guests, head to wadehansen.com. There you can get links to my Facebook and LinkedIn pages. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see the video version of this podcast too. Again, thank you for listening to the Raw Real Estate Podcast. We'll talk soon.